also hear an argument that if Android was not a gated community, the level and quality of contribution would have been much better. What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, so if you look at how people contribute to open source projects, that's a good question. I would think that we would get more drive-by patches, and I don't mean that in a bad way, I mean that in a good way. Small corrections for utility, bug fixes, that kind of thing. The kinds of patches that wouldn't increase. So what happens right now, so for instance, is we'll have a modding community find a bug, or they'll have some feature they want to implement, and they'll go and implement it, and it'll take some time. Then they'll try to submit it through the Android open source project, and the reality is inside the gateway, it's already been done, or it's been changed in such a way that that patch doesn't make any sense anymore. And that was very frustrating for early patchers, and so those sorts of patches didn't flow. I don't think that they would flow anyway in a wide open model, because people would say like, oh, that group's already doing that direction, and it would be incompatible, and they're more likely to talk to them than to us. So, yeah, so what's happened is over the years, people have done less and less of that kind of patching into the Android open source project because we haven't been able to accept their patches. And so, I can't go back in time and say, Android's all open, give us your patches, and we can integrate it, because it didn't work that way. So it'll be interesting. I think that over time, you'll see more and more patches from the outside community be acceptable, because as the operating system has matured, those sorts of big, broad API-changing patches are rarer nowadays. So yeah, so I think that'll get better over the years. But I would be hard pressed to tell you how many years. Probably 4, if I had to guess. But an area where I would love to see more community activity as well as more discussions with manufacturers is there's still a binary driver problem where people are creating user space binary drivers for Android devices, and there's not really a point to them. It's very hard for you to tell me that, for instance, a calibration routine for a compass or a 3D accelerometer is really all that important, that you need to keep it closed. I think you'll sell more chips, in fact, if you open source your accelerometer gyro code rather than less, and you could put it inside the kernel, and it would make it more likely people would pick your chips. So it's stuff like that I would like to see reduced. The exposure to binaries be reduced in that manner.
So are you like working with the companies to?
Oh yeah, no, we try. We're not always successful, but I think that the more manufacturers who listen to these kinds of broadcasts, the better. So we'll see how it goes.